Lines Written in Early Spring by William Wordsworth. I heard 1,000 blended notes, while in a groove I sate reclined. In that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. Through primrose tufts in that sweet bower, the periwinkle trailed its wreaths, and 'tis my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. The birds around me hopped and played, their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. The budding twigs spread out their fan to catch the breezy air, and I must think, do all I can, that there was pleasure there. If this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament what man has made of man? Now let's quickly discuss the difficult words. The meanings are blended, combined, means mixed. Sate is an old English word. It's no more used and it means sat. Grieved means caused intense sorrow. Primrose is a plant. It's a wild plant which has yellow flowers and mostly in the spring. Bower is a shady place under the trees, or you can also use it for climbing plants in a garden. Periwinkle is again a plant which has flowers with 5 petals and the leaves are very shiny. The next word is twigs. Twigs are wooden or woody stems which are a little hard. And lament means to express feeling of grief or sorrow, or it can also be to regret. Now we will quickly see the poem in details. This is the first stanza. The title is Lines Written in Early Spring by William Wordsworth. Now I'll quickly read the first stanza. It says, I heard 1,000 blended notes, while in a groove I sate reclined. In that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. Now over here the poet is trying to say that when he sits and he hears 1,000 blended notes. Now what is the meaning of blended notes? It is as if someone is playing music, which is blended, completely blended. And these sounds or these notes are from nature, the birds and the breeze and all these things. That is the sound that he wants to say. And they are blended. And the meaning of blended is, as I've told you, it means something which is mixed. Now while in a groove I sate. Now see, the next difficult word is sate. Now sate is again an English word which is an old word. It's no more used now. I've written the meanings over here. Blended means combined or mixed, and sate is sat. So when he sits over there in the groove. Now what is a groove? A groove is a place where there are many trees and it's a peaceful place to sit into. So the poet William Wordsworth is sitting over there and he's saying that he can hear sounds which are as if someone has blended the notes. And in that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts. Now he has a very sweet mood when he's sitting in such a pleasant place. The thoughts are also pleasant, but sometimes sad thoughts also come to the mind. So that is what he's trying to tell us, that it happens that even if you're sitting in a beautiful place, some sad thoughts come to his mind. Now later in the coming stanzas, we will come to know what are the sad thoughts about. It's basically about nature, and we should keep in mind that all his poems are about nature. Now this is the second stanza here. I'll quickly read it now. To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. Now here we come to know what is the problem. Now to her fair works did nature link. Now nature's work, if you see, is quite fair, It has a way of working. It has created the human beings. It has created the trees, the plants and animals, and all of these things are meant to work in synchronization with each other. But that doesn't happen. The human soul that through me ran. That is, he's talking about his soul. He's saying that his soul is grieved now. Inside his heart, he's feeling very grieved. And the meaning of grieved is to have a lot of sadness, intense sadness. He's saying that my heart is grieved because to see the situation, what a man has done, for himself. That means he has messed everything for himself and also for the nature. And that is the situation that we face now, pollution and all these other problems. So this is what he is trying to tell us, that there's a lot of mess that man has created. And also in the relationships, we are much more involved in our personal lives now. We don't care so much for each other and all. So that is what man has made of man. Now, quickly, this is the third stanza over here. I'll just read it. Through primrose tufts in that sweet bower, the periwinkle trailed its wreaths, and 'tis my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. Now, here he is trying to again name two more plants here, primrose and periwinkle. Again, these are plants, and he's saying that the primrose tufts are basically, like bunches of flowers. And in that, when he sits over there, and there's this sweet bower. Now, bower is a place which is very shady and a beautiful place in between the trees, and a nice, peaceful place to sit in. He sits over there. The periwinkle is trailed. Now, trailed, you should remember, trail is like a road, like a way, like a path, which is there in jungles and, in the forests and all. So that road is there, and the periwinkle has trailed its wreaths. Now, periwinkle is again a plant which has very shiny and colorful flowers and leaves. And can you see the drawing over there next to wreaths? That is a wreath. It's like a decorative circle-like thing, which is used for when someone dies, you keep the flowers over there. So that's called a wreath. So the periwinkle has been trailed into a wreath. They've made it into a wreath, and he's saying that it is faith that every flower should get a chance to live its life, and that too on the plant. He doesn't like the fact that the flowers are plucked away from the plant and then they are made into wreaths and garlands and all. So he's talking about that, it would be better if even plants, even flowers, tiny wild flowers would also get a chance to enjoy their lives on the plant. So this is what he means to say. The difficult words are written below. Primrose, and that is a wild plant with yellow flowers, and bower, it is a shady place. Periwinkle is again a flower, and 'tis, see, there's an apostrophe and 'tis. It is actually it is. So whenever we delete some word from some letter from any word, you can add an apostrophe over there. So that is the 'tis. It is. Okay. Now we'll I think we should remember all the three stanzas here. Now this is the fourth stanza. The birds around me hopped and played. Their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion which they made, it seems a thrill of pleasure. That means when he's sitting over there, in this area where there are all trees and all beautiful flowers and all, there are birds around him, and there are many birds which are there. They are hopping and playing, and their thoughts I cannot measure. Now he's saying he can't measure as to what the birds are thinking in their mind. What are they up to? He doesn't know. But the least motion which they make, motion means any movement that they're doing, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. So any movement, sometimes you see that the birds, they flutter their wings, they dance over there, they make these beautiful sounds, of chirping and tweeting and all. So he's saying that all these movements which the birds make, it is as if, it is full of pleasure, and he loves these sights that he's seeing. So he has mentioned quite a few beautiful sights which he really likes. Now this is the fifth stanza. It says, the budding twigs spread out their fan to catch the breezy air, and I must do all I can, that there was pleasure there. Now it means that the budding twigs, now twig is a woody stem, a stem which has become a little hard, and budding means there are new leaves which are springing out from the twigs. They spread out their fan. It is as if they are spreading, because when the leaves, when new leaves come up, they later will form into branches, and they spread out. It is as if they are a fan, that is why we feel very breezy when we are close to trees, because they act as fans. When the breeze comes, they act as if it is a fan, and that is why we feel so fresh when we are around trees, to catch the breezy air. And I must do all I can. This is an old way of speaking actually. He's saying that he must think, that whatever was going on over there, those beautiful sights, those birds, those trees, and everything, those flowers and all, they were really beautiful. Now this is the sixth and the last stanza. If this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament what man has made of man? Now, lament is a difficult word over here. It means to express feeling of grief, to regret, to feel bad. Now, if you see, what he's saying, that all these beliefs, whatever we are thinking about nature, that, nature has created human beings, it has created everyone, and, all the plants and everything. And we are lamenting now. We are expressing that grief now. We have come to that situation because man has messed everything. He has messed things up for us, We are in a bad situation because it was nature's holy plan. Nature had planned things to work well, but we have faltered, we have gone wrong in that. And that is the reason he's thinking, that after all these beautiful things, after all this belief that things have come from nature, there is a situation where man has spoilt everything, and I am in that situation where I need to sit and lament. So this is a very negative thought with that he is finishing, that he is sad about these situations. And what we can learn from this poem actually is that, can we make things better for our future, for the next generations to come, can we do something so that we can make the environment better? And I hope you understood the poem. Thank you. Do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.